Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spring 2021 American Lit 2, 1865 to the present. I just wanted to record a quick introductory video, and we will look together at what our course looks like in Canvas, and I'll just kind of orient you to where you want to be sure to be looking every week and what your assignments are going to be looking like. I will record videos sometimes throughout the semester to explain assignments or just kind of touch base with things. And please also keep in mind that you can always email me, call me if you would like to have one-on-one Zoom meetings. I am just more than happy. That's why I'm here, to make sure that you feel like you are getting the most out of the class. And if you have any questions, that I can answer them. I know that it can feel kind of impersonal sometimes to take online courses, but hopefully you don't feel like that is the case this semester. So I'll jump right in. I'm going to share my screen, and what is going to show up is how the Canvas page should look for you as a student. Okay, so here is our Canvas page. At the top of the page, you'll see the course details and resources. This will remain unchanged. These will stay here at the top of the class all semester. So I'm going to open the syllabus in a second, but otherwise, here are some really helpful, in-depth scholarly websites that are really wonderful resources in general, but when we get to the point in the semester where you'll be writing essays that require sources, you know that you can go here, and that these are really great sources to work from. I've also included some of my kind of greatest hits of writing resources. So the expectation is that you've certainly done writing in college courses before coming to a literature class like this. But if you need to brush up on some of your skills, if you need just kind of a reminder about MLA formatting and citation, you can definitely come here for those reminders. As we move throughout the semester, there will be more kind of specific writing instruction depending on the assignment. But again, these are kind of just general resources that you can apply to many of your writing assignments. And then of course, a few resources, again, pretty general resources about literary elements and definitions and literary analysis, and critical theory as well. So we'll talk about that throughout the semester. So let's look at the syllabus together. Of course, much of the syllabus, we use a common syllabus tool at ECC, so some of this might look familiar from course to course. Here are my office hours, where I'm physically in my office on campus. If any of you are taking classes on campus too, you can always come by and say hello or set up a meeting time. And of course, if these times don't work for you, just let me know and we can set up an appointment outside of those times. Required textbook, I had emailed you all before the semester started, just as a reminder that you will need a textbook for this class. This is what it looks like, if you can kind of see me in the corner there. So it's the shorter edition of the Norton Anthology of American Literature, 1865 to present. Most of our readings, probably 99% of our readings this semester will come from that textbook, so it's important to have it. This Writing for Success handbook, that's on Canvas, it's an open source writing handbook. Throughout the semester, if there's anything else that I want you to read or watch, I will provide it to you. Okay, so a lot of this is pretty general information. I'm definitely not going to kind of just read this to you in a video. That would not be the best use of your time, of course, but please do go over the syllabus and be really conscientious about the late work policy, for example. I accept late work, but that isn't something that you want to get in the habit of doing, because things can kind of spiral and snowball really quickly if you every week are turning things in late. Throughout all of my policies as well, I think that basically when it comes to attendance, that you are interacting in the class, that you are doing your work. You know, a main takeaway is that you can't just disappear. if you disappear for 2 weeks and do not contact me, it's likely that I will need to withdraw you from the course. I'm very easy to work with, but I'm not psychic. So communicate with me, email me, let me know what's going on, and we will work together to make it through the semester. So again, be familiar with the policies and resources throughout campus. I want to point you to a couple of things. The method of student evaluation, I can kind of guarantee that there aren't going to be exactly 700 points at the end of the semester. Some of these assignments might fluctuate a little bit, but you do see here that pretty much the entirety of your grade this semester will be from writing. Some of it will be informal writing, like the reflection that you'll write this week. Some of it will be more formal writing, where it will be research-based, analytical writing. But throughout the semester, you'll be doing a great deal of reading every week. And then writing assignments will be what you will be predominantly graded on this semester. The course outline, this is pretty bare bones as in terms of how outlines go. And I'll show you the weekly assignment in a second, so you'll see kind of how that matches up. So for the first half of the semester, I kind of give you some topics that we'll go over. So this will be in addition to our readings. These will just be kind of some special emphasis topics that I might post an article or a couple of videos about, that you're just learning about these things kind of throughout American history and how they relate to culture and literature throughout history as well. Here is your text list. Okay, so this is the piece of the syllabus that you will want to refer to quite frequently. You might want to print it out or kind of save it as its own document. So let's just look at this together really quickly. The readings that are listed here come from your course textbook. Supplemental readings, film clips, and films will be provided by me via Canvas. I also ask you to always read the author's biographical information before reading the selection. So for example, here, we'll look at this. So Kate Chopin. I ask you to read 2 short stories by Kate Chopin. And you'll see here that page 441, that's where her biography starts. And I expect you to read that. And then you look in the parentheses, these page numbers indicate where these 2 short stories begin. So that's how to read the text list. Of course, in our weekly assignment, I will be putting these page numbers, so you won't only have to look at the text list, but as you go through this, you can kind of see what's coming up. There are a number of poems on this text list, some short stories, some fiction, and some nonfiction selections as well. The introduction and timeline, this is a really great introductory kind of chapter before the readings in a certain era, where you can glean a lot of information about not only the literature of the era, but history and culture and kind of what's going on, the bigger picture. So again, you can kind of glance through this and see that we have a lot of reading this semester. And again, a lot of these are titles of poems. Oh, I see a typo I need to fix. But if you keep up with your reading this semester, it's absolutely manageable. And what I'll encourage you to do is every week. So now let's go back to the class. Every week there will be an assignment, and it will kind of have the same template every week that I might ask you to read, watch, discuss, and write something. So at the beginning of every week, this will be posted on Wednesdays. Hopefully before Wednesday, but our weeks go from Wednesday to Wednesday. So I encourage you each week on Wednesday, when the new module opens, when the new week goes live, look over the readings, flip through your book, maybe mark with Post-it notes what you need to read for that week. And that way you kind of see what's coming. Maybe you can see that, oh, this is a really short selection, or this is a longer selection, it's going to take me longer to read. And then you can pace yourself throughout the week. Because certainly you're not going to be able to just put off doing all your reading for until the next Tuesday. You will want to pace yourself. So I encourage you to kind of get your bearings at the beginning of each week to understand what's coming up, what's expected of you, and the readings that you need to do. So this week, I ask you to read the preface of your textbook, the introduction and timeline, 2 poems. So a few of you took American Lit 1 in the fall, and there's some overlap. There could be a lot of overlap, if we let there be, between American Lit 1 and American Lit 2. But we start out with a bit of an overlap with Walt Whitman and Emily Dickinson. So in American Lit 1, as we finish up that class, we delve deeply into those 2 poets, but we're just kind of touching on them at the beginning of American Lit 2. So I ask you to read a poem by each of those authors, and of course the introductory information about them. And then a short story by Mark Twain, and we will continue Mark Twain next week. I ask you to watch this week an introduction PowerPoint. This is connected to your textbook, so a lot of images and just kind of comments about things that you'll read that will supplement your reading from the textbook. And then I'll show you the linked videos as well. Okay, and we have a discussion forum for introductions and a week 1 reflection. So this assignment, this is where everything will kind of live in terms of what is expected of you for the week ahead. And then when you look at the week module, you can see all of those things reflected. So the welcome and introductions, this is the discussion forum, the getting to know you quiz, perhaps a really easy 20 points, just answering a few questions about yourself. The PowerPoint, and this is an art PowerPoint too, just to supplement your reading. The reflection that I ask you to write. It's in the quiz function, but it is just a short reflection. So forgive me. Okay, this is an error. I will fix that. I thought that I edited it and I don't think I did. So forgive me. Basically the information is the same though. I'm asking you to, after you read the introduction, please focus on a specific passage, focus on something that you found really compelling from that introduction and write a reflection. I have a great handout, tips for writing a reflection. This is a more informal style of writing. You don't just want to summarize, you want to add kind of your personal responses to something. So go over this. This is a really great resource for any class that you might take that asks you to write a reflection. So please use this. Okay, so yeah, you can kind of, again, see what the week will look like. Pretty much every week I will also include a link to a YouTube playlist. This is where I kind of curate videos for you to watch throughout the week to kind of supplement your reading. As a quick side note, if you open this in Canvas and you get this image that it refused to connect, please click on this link here and it will take you to YouTube. I feel like that always happens, at least to me, but if you click through to open a new tab in YouTube, you will find the playlist. So every week I will add videos that I think are helpful to kind of visually or kind of be able to see and listen to more information about the authors, the time periods, the texts that I'm asking you to read. So these first few links about Walt Whitman and Emily Dickinson, again, if you took American Lit 1, these look familiar, so you can kind of skim through them. But this is where we kind of overlap into the new era of American literature too. And then a really nice, not too long documentary about Mark Twain to kind of, that will segue and pull us into our continuation of Mark Twain next week. So I think that kind of wraps up what you definitely need to know and be aware of and what our Canvas course looks like. So please just be really oriented to the class, kind of know what the resources are, where to find them, and how each week will follow kind of that same pattern. There will be an assignment, There will often be a reflection. Sometimes there will also be discussions. You will kind of know what's coming up. So the class does move week by week. It's not a class where you can just pace yourself and work ahead 6 weeks. So it is a class that goes week by week. But if there are larger assignments, whether reading assignments or writing assignments, they will often straddle more than 1 week. So you'll know how to pace yourself for longer assignments. So again, I think that that hits kind of the main points that I want you to be aware of how the class is structured, but just be prepared to read quite a bit throughout the week, and read closely, read carefully, mark in your book. If you don't want to mark in your book, use Post-it notes, figure out ways to annotate so you can read actively and not passively, and we will have a great semester. So reach out if you need anything, and I will look forward to meeting you, talking with you, whether via email or otherwise throughout the semester. Congratulations on making it through week 1. Have a good and restful weekend.